Digital Nomad Visa of Spain. Everything what you need to know in one simple video. Alina here with you, directly from Barcelona. Let's go to watch it. Let's start from the beginning. What is Digital Nomad Visa? It's called in Spanish Visado de Teletrabajadores. It's visa for the people who want to work for foreign country, for foreign company, but live in Spain. So actually it's really simple concept. For example, you have your work contract with Australia, or maybe you work in Europe, or maybe you are a freelancer, or maybe you have your own company, but you want to give service to the companies in another countries, but you want to live in Spain. So Spain gives you this possibility to live in the country, pay taxes in the country, but you can work for another country. Because now we live in society in the time where everybody is moving around, always everybody is working remotely. And I'm actually really proud that 2 years ago, Spain said, okay, finally we are accepting not only students, not only investors, but we are welcoming digital nomads. So in last 2 years, in my company, actually we obtained more than 200 digital nomad visa. We didn't have any denial. And I can officially say that for me, I think, my just opinion, it's the best visa of Spain. Because it's easy to apply, it's easy to obtain, and you will have permit to live and work for you and your family for 3 years. 3 years. It's amazing. And what I like that after 3 years, you can prolong it for 2 years and you will have your permanent residency. And in 10 years, you can obtain nacionalidad. So Spanish passport. And what is good, all the members of your family can apply for Spanish passport after 2 years living here in Spain. So what I like about this visa, it's really kind of clear what you need to make to obtain the visa. It's really clear what you need to make to stay in the country, and it's really clear what you need to do to obtain Spanish passport. So I like when everything is clear, you know. So let's dive in a little bit in the condition and documents. What you need to have to apply for digital nomad visa of Spain here now in the March of 2025. Okay, so first of all, I always like to divide documents by the concept. Okay, so let's start with the personal documents. Okay, so personal or general documents. You need to show copy of your passport, all pages. Okay, scan of all the pages of your passport. You need to show MIF application. You need to show declaration of no criminal records, and you need to show that you pay fee. It's called tasas in Spanish. Okay, it's kind of that you pay the work of the people who will check your application. Okay, so it's, let's say, this part of the documents. Next part of the documents, if you are employee. Okay, so you need to prove that you have your work, you have your job, and you have your salary, and you have your experience. Okay, so it's really important from you to show that proof that company has existed for over 1 year where you work, or your company or the company for whom you work. The company need to be older than 1 year. And then you need to show letter from the company confirming that you can work remotely. It's really important, this letter. And after this, you need to show proof of your work experience. This proof you can show in 2 types, okay? Or diploma, visa apostille, okay? So for example, you finish university and you have certificate from university, okay? So, or you show your education, or you need to show your experience, okay? So, for example, proof of 3+ years of experience. What it can be? It can be a letter from the previous employer, or you can show even your LinkedIn pages, or you can show even some maybe letter from HR from the previous company, or you can show certificates, the medals, maybe you won something, maybe you built something, maybe you achieved something. So actually you need to prove that you have worked the same work, or that you have the specialty, the experience, the profession in this exact field. And after that, you need to show documents that depending on employer, okay? Because some documents you need to gather by yourself, but some document you need to ask your employer, okay? So you need to show employment contract, of course. You need to show social security certificate with apostille. It's really important. And you need to show last 3 payslips, nóminas in Spanish, okay? And if you are a freelancer, you need to show service agreement. You need to show commitment to enroll in Spain's social security system. It's a document that you write like, yes, I will be enrolled when I will obtain the visa, okay? Then you need to show last 3 invoices or work completion certificates, and you need to show bank statement. So, for example, you need to show that you have salary payments for the last 3 months. So the logic is, just to be really clear and really short, okay, that you need to show your personal documents, that you're good with the health, that you have insurance, that you have money, and that you have education, and that you have experience, okay? On another hand, we need to show the documents from employer that yes, it's true, you have the work contract with them, they pay you money, and yes, you can work remotely. Okay, so when I say it like this, it sounds it's kind of easy, but actually, of course, it's a list of documents. So it's kind of, in the average, we show carpet with 15 or 25 documents. Okay, depends on the case. But it's really easy if you have remote work and your employer can actually adapt the documents for you. Because sometimes, you know, for example, job contracts, you signed 10 years ago and they don't want to put any changes inside, you know, or for example, your salary, it's not the same every month, no? So it's kind of hard to show what's the amount of the salary you have. Or maybe you're working for the companies and maybe you're a freelancer and they are paying you every month different amount. So all these details, sometimes it's hard to explain these details to the Spanish government. So that's why we always say, we gather all the documents, we see your documents, we say what you need to adapt, what you need maybe to change or update. And after that, we apply for digital nomad visa, and that's why we never have any denegation, because we know what Spain is searching for. Because Spain, it's kind of not in need of any digital nomad. No, Spain, they have really, let's say, clear portrait of the client, okay? Really clear portrait of who they are welcoming, okay? So it's really important that you have all your documents in order and that you really can prove that you are working there, that you have an experience, and that you have enough money. And let's talk about money. You know that in every country where you can obtain digital nomad visa, the first requirement is that you need to show enough money as salary, okay? So you need to have recurrent monthly salary income that always come into you to your bank account, okay? So minimum income requirements for digital nomad visa in Spain for 2025, okay? So if you want, you need to show 2,763 euro per month after taxes. After taxes, it's important. So it's not like you have this salary, but will be minus 20% less because you need to pay the taxes to your country. No, no, no. It's have to be clear on the money in your hand. Okay, 2,763 euro. If you want to move, for example, with your spouse, okay, you need to show for 2 people 3,800 euro salary. Okay, if you are 3, for example, husband, wife, and kid, you need to show the salary amount 4,145 euro per month. Okay, if 4 people, it's 4,490 euro. And if it's 5 people family, for example, husband, wife, and 3 kids, it's have to be 4,835 euro. So if you have 5,000 euro monthly income, you can move 5 people to Spain. So actually, I think it's kind of okay, you know, because 5,000 euro, it's not a really fantastical salary, you know, in nowadays. And 5 people, it's a big family, you know. So I know that, for example, if you will move to Portugal or to Cyprus, for example, the salary amount will be higher. So you need to show kind of 7,000, 8,000. So I think 5,000 salary to move family of 5, it's amazing. So where these numbers are coming from? From minimal wage here in Spain. So actually middle kind of expenses, it's 1,000 euro per month per person. Okay, so that's why actually they count like this. Okay, so you need to show 5,000 for 5 people, or for example 4,000 for 3 people, you know. So it's kind of everything, it's count, like you will rent the flat, you will pay for the products, and you will pay for the school, and altogether it will be this. So when everybody asking me, Alina, how much I will spend per month, how much money I need, actually that amount, that's what is needed. Okay, so actually in Spain it's really logical. That amount what you need to show actually is this amount that you need to have to pay monthly for all your expenses. So if you have this, you can be sure that you will be okay with all your expenses here in Spain. So if we are talking about the family, you are digital nomad, you have enough salary, you want to move to Spain with your family. What documents is needed for your family? If you are moving, for example, with your spouse, with your wife, you need to show marriage certificate with apostille, you need to show marriage declaration, and you need to show criminal record certificate, sworn translation, if anyone is over 18 years old. Okay, so for example for the wife, or for example for the older kid. Okay, and you need to show for children birth certificate with apostille. You need to show notarized authorization from the second parent, for example if only a mom with the kid is moving on, or only father with the kid. Okay, and health insurance is important, only required if the main applicant is an employee. So about health insurance, actually it's really interesting moment. If you will register here like self-employed, you don't need to have private health insurance because you will have government one because you are self-employed. Okay, so when you pay in taxes, they give you kind of insurance for free. Okay, like on the level of the country, but you still can add private one. And I always said that actually it's better to have 2 insurances. Okay, one from the government, it's kind of slower, it's kind of not so posh, but it's still amazing medicine. And on another hand, you can add private one, and it will be faster, it will be kind of more beautiful hospitals. Okay, but the doctors still amazing Spanish doctors, you know, because the level of the doctors in every hospital is the same, it's really high level. Okay, so one more time I will explain because maybe it was not clear. Look, if you're working as employee on employer, okay, so it means that you need to have private insurance, okay, because you will not register here as self-employed person. Okay, but if you will register here as self-employed person, you will have governmental insurance. You don't need to buy private one. Okay, but you still can. Let's talk a little bit about employee or self-employed. Okay, so what is the difference? Because in different countries we have different agreement with Spain. Okay, so for example, if you are from, let's say, Colombia. Okay, if you are from Colombia, Colombia and Spain, they have this agreement. So it's mean if you are working for the company in Colombia, you can stay work in this company. You don't need to register here as self-employed. Why? Because Colombia and Spain, they have agreement to pay social security for you. So it means that Colombia is kind of sending the data to Spain about how much they pay for you, that you are covered, that, for example, if you will, I don't know, run by the sea and you will break your leg, Colombia will say to Spain, we cover it up, we pay for him, you know? So it's important detail because in Spain, for every visa, you need to prove that you have insurance, that no matter what, your health is covered, okay? But for example, if you're working for Germany, and Germany don't have this agreement with Spain, it's mean what you need to do. You work for the company in Germany. You need to move to Spain, register as self-employed, and as self-employed, you will pay your social security payments, and that's how you will be covered if you will break your leg. Okay, I try to kind of explain everything as easy as possible, but actually it's really important detail because a lot of people they say, wow, I'm working for my company and they don't want me to be self-employed. They want to have only job contract with me. And I say, if your country don't have this agreement with Spain, you cannot be digital nomad. And actually it's huge, because I will give you example. I have the list here for you prepared about what countries has this agreement. Okay, so bilateral social security agreements signed by Spain with other countries. The list of the countries: Andorra, Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Cabo Verde, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, South Korea, Ecuador, United States, Philippines, Japan, Morocco, Mexico, Paraguay, Peru, Dominican Republic, Russia, and Senegal. That's it. And additional agreement with UK and Switzerland. And that's it. Imagine. So Spain has this agreement only with 28 countries. And as you know, on our planet we have 195 countries. So it means that only one country from 5 countries has this agreement with Spain. And if you are from countries that don't have this agreement, it means that you need to come to Spain, you need to open here Autonomo, register as self-employed, and that's how you will pay taxes, and that's how you will pay social security payments to the Spain. And that's how you can continue to work for your company. You need to make agreement with your company that you will work, let's say, as self-employed, as freelancer to your company. So you cannot continue to work as employee. You can work as employee only if you are from these countries that have this agreement. Okay. Okay, super. So, for example, you say, okay, Alina, I have the contract and this contract from these countries that you said. So I will continue as employee to my company. What the contract I need to show? Okay, so contract requirements. Look, first of all, it's have to be remote work format. So it's have to be phrase in your contract that yes, it's true, John can work remotely. It's important. But for example, if you don't have this phrase in your job contract, don't worry. We will give you the example of the letter that your employer need to write to add this information. So it will be kind of annex to your contract where he need to write, yes, it's true, John is work for me. Yes, it's true, he is working remotely. Yes, it's true, he have this amount of payment every month from the company. Okay, so everything what you don't have in the contract, it's possible to add. So don't worry, because we know that contracts of every company is different and they are not adapted for the Spain, no? So it's okay. Next, contract duration. It's really important that your contract need to be at least for 3 years. Okay, why? Because if your contract it's only for 1 year, and we know that a lot of companies they like kind of to make the contract every year to kind of renew it. Actually, it's bad for the visa because digital nomad visa, Spain will give you only for the longitude of your contract. So if your contract is 1 year, you will obtain the visa for 1 year. So it's really important to have the contract at least for 3 years. Why? Because 3 years it's the maximum period of the first digital nomad visa in Spain. So if you have contract for 3 years, you will obtain digital nomad visa for 3 years. And only in 3 years, you need to prolong it for 2 years more. And in 5 years, you will have permanent permit. Okay, so it's better to always, I say in the beginning, obtain maximum that you can obtain, to not to go with the papers, with all this every year, So, or 3 years, or you can say, or it can be written that your contract is, for example, kind of endless, so it's kind of not in 1 year, not in 2 years, not in 3 years. So I will work there forever. Okay, that can be too, but it's better to not have numbers than have 1 year or 2 years. Okay. Another one, really important, in your contract, it have to be written. The company must have existed for at least 1 year. So it's not like yesterday you register the company and today you say, I want to obtain digital nomad visa. No, it can be like that. Your company needs to exist at least 1 year and you need to work in this company at least 3 months. It's really important numbers. Okay, so you need to be sure about the numbers. Your contract can be employment-based, service-based, a service contract, or an independent contractor agreement. Okay, and you need to show certificate of company existence. So in Spain they called it escritura, no, that this company were registered, for example, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So you need to ask this certificate, the copy of this certificate from your employer, and it's really important to show that this document is apostille. Okay, it's really important because it's kind of proof that this document is real. Okay, and your employer must provide a letter stating that they allow the employee to work from Spain and confirming the income, as I already said. And these documents will prove that you are a remote worker. So the idea is we need to prove that yes, the company is existing, you are existing, you are working for this company, you are having this salary, and yes, you can continue to work this job remotely. So actually it's kind of top 5 that you need to prove. So really important question, how you will prove that you have the salary every month? How to confirm salary or your financial income? The base is bank statement. Okay, so you need to show that yes, it's true, John Johnson has this salary every month. Here is my bank account, and this salary is coming from the account of my company every month to my account. So for example, yes, look, every month, I don't know, 5th of June, 5th of July, I had 3,000, 3,000, 3,000. It's the easiest document, okay? But sometimes Spain can ask you additional document. What it can be? It can be tax form, payroll slip, or invoices, or pay slips. Okay, so sometimes you can add something if your bank statement, for example, not so clear, because sometimes companies, they're paying every week or every quarter, or maybe you have different salary every month. No, there are details. So it's better to give more proofs. You can show, okay, here is my, I don't know, for example, bank account, here is my another account, and here you can add the document explaining what is the movement on your bank accounts. Okay, so it's better always to show all the picture and try not to hide anything, you know, because sometimes people try to kind of show only the part of their work, and sometimes it's kind of not logical, you know, because some data is there and some data is not there. So it's better to be really clear, and it's better not to show more that is needed. So it's better to show only 3 months of your salary. It's the easiest way to prove that yes, you have money every month. Another really big question, what documents need to be notarized? Okay, so I have here for you the list of the documents. So notarized translation of certain documents into Spanish. You need to translate employment contract, police clearance certificate, marriage certificate, children's birth certificate. You need to translate these documents, and you need to translate it with notario. Okay, so this type of translation, it's more expensive, and you need to understand that you can spend from 400 euro to 600 euro only on translation. So you need to add this money on your expenses. So your expenses for digital nomad visa, first of all, the service payment. For example, if you will choose my company, I hope you will, to obtain digital nomad visa, you will pay for the service of obtaining the visa. You need to pay for the private insurance if you will buy one. You need to pay for translation of the documents. Actually, that's it. Okay, and everything, another one, you just need to show. So the main kind of expenses, it's services, it's translation, and it's insurance. It's top 3, okay? And you need to translate, but these documents don't need to be notarized. Bank statements, invoices, CV, your curriculum vitae, social security certificate. So 4 documents you need to notarize, 4 documents you don't need to notarize, but all the documents that you will present, you need to translate into Spanish. Social security payment. I already said a lot about that, but actually I see that no one is writing and talking about that, but actually it's really important because every country where you will move as digital nomad, they want to be sure that social security is paid. Okay, so how you can do this? So first of all, the employer must make social security contributions on your behalf. It's the first way, okay? So you don't worry about that because your employer is doing that. That's first opportunity, amazing, less headache for you, okay? Second, It's important that Spain and your home country have an agreement for the exchange of social security information, and I already talked too much about that, okay? Third point, in some countries, citizens must change their contract type to a service agreement and pay social security contributions themselves in Spain. That's already a talk about that. So if you don't have agreement, you need to be registered, and you by yourself will pay social security. And alternatively, you can declare that you will handle social security payments yourself, in which case no additional document is required. So some people, they are saying, Alina, but I can't obtain social security number. And how I can pay social security if I still not resident? And here is the trick. When you will apply for Digital Nomad Visa, you will sign the documents that I promise to register in Social Security when I will obtain my residency. And if you promise that you will be registered in Social Security, you need to make it in 1 month after obtaining Digital Nomad Visa. And if you will not do it, they can cancel your visa. So it's really important. You gather all your documents, you promise to be registered in Social Security, you obtain your Digital Nomad Visa, you obtain your TA card, your residency card, and with this residency card, you go to Social Security and you say, hey, I want to be registered. And that's how every month you start to pay from your salary automatically from your bank account the Social Security payments. Okay? And it's really important. Every month you need to pay taxes. That's one expense. And on another hand, you need to pay Social Security payments. It's another expense. And that's how you will be good with your visa. And after 3 years, when you want to prolong, actually, you don't need to add nothing new. You need to show your job contract. You need to show that you still have your salary. And you need to show that you paid taxes and you pay Social Security. And that's it. That's how you will prolong for 2 years more. Taxes. How much you need to pay? Because I was telling a lot about Social Security payment and taxes, and maybe you can think, Alina, but what I need to give to them? Okay, guys, actually I have here really clear statistics from my clients, okay? Because during these 2 years, we moved more than 200 clients, and we know how they are living here, how they are paying everything, and how much they are spending, okay? So actually I prepare for you the real statistics from real people, not just some average people there, you know? So first of all, I think you know that in Spain you can ask for Beckham law. It's income tax rate, that kind of flat rate. Okay, so it means that no matter how much money you have, you will pay 24% per month. It's called apply for Beckham law. So you can apply for this opportunity. And if you have your salary below 600,000 euro per year, you can pay this flat rate only 24%. So no matter it's 100,000 or 200,000 or 600,000 per year, you still will pay one flat rate, 24%. It's one opportunity. It's always there for you, okay? Another opportunity, you can actually pay as everybody paying here in Spain, just depends how much you have, you will pay this amount of taxes, okay? So for example, if you have 60,000 per year, you will pay this. If you have 100,000 per year, you will pay that. So the taxes in Spain, they are progressive from 19% to 47%. So for example, if you don't want to pay this flat rate, you can pay progressive rate, and everybody actually here in Spain, that's what they are doing, okay? So you will pay from 19% to 47%, depends of the amount of your salary, okay? But here I have real statistics for you from my clients, from the families and people who move with us, okay, with Dream Life. So look, we find out that average taxes that my clients pay here in Spain from 26 to 35, okay? Because everyone has different salaries, different contracts, different amount of money actually coming to them. So we move some IT people, sometimes they have kind of 200,000 euro salary per year. Someone from them, they have 50,000 per year, and someone from them can have even 500,000, you know, the salary. So depends on the salary, the amount is different, but average it's from 26 to 35. Okay? Another interesting number, 54% of digital nomads, they're relocating as a couple. So mostly people coming as a couple or with the family, okay? So we have people who are moving by themselves, but they are kind of minority, okay? Barcelona remains top city for digital nomads. 32% of our clients, they move to Barcelona, 25% they move to Valencia, and a lot of people, they're moving to Malaga, to Madrid, and to Torrevieja. So actually, it's kind of these top 5 countries from my company, Dream Life, if I will give you the experience of my clients, okay, who are moving with digital nomad visa. And expenses, okay, expenses. 50% of my clients, they're spending from 800 euro to 2,000 euro per month for the rent. Okay, from 800 to 2,000. Depends on the city, because if the city is smaller, in Malaga it's possible to find something for 800, 900, but of course in Barcelona and Madrid, something better will cost at least 2,000, okay? And only 5% of them purchased property. And actually, maybe it's because of my advices. I always said that it's better not to be in rush with purchasing property, okay? So it's better to rent some flat or some house, understand the neighborhood, understand the zones, the cities, the country. And after that, you can buy like in 1 year, in 2 year, in 3 year, you know? So don't be in rush with that. And living expenses, excluding rent, typically range from 1,000 per month to 2,000 per month. Okay, depends on the quantity of the family members. Okay, so for example, if you are moving as digital nomad and you have this basic salary that they're asking you to have 2,800, for example, let's talk about Barcelona. You will pay 1,200 for some not big flat. Okay, you will spend maybe 500 for the food, okay? Maybe you will pay 200 more for the utilities, and maybe you will spend 100 euro more for the transport, internet, and mobile services altogether, okay? So that's it. So it's mean that from 2,800 you will have some money to save, or to save for the travels, or maybe, I don't know, to send to your parents, you know? So you will have some money left for sure, because we need to know that Barcelona is the most expensive city of Spain. If you want to spend less, you need to go to Madrid, you need to go to Valencia, and if you will move to the smaller city, for sure you will spend less. So I give you a lot of information about digital nomad visa and about process and about the documents, but let's gather it all together and let's make a fast summary, okay? So digital nomad visa, you can obtain this visa for 3 years, okay? That's the first. Then you will have visa-free travel in all Schengen zone. It's perfect. You can apply for residence permit not only for you, but for whole your family. So you can move with your wife, with your husband, with your kids. Perfect. Then, what I like mostly about digital nomad visas, that is fast processing time, only 20 days. In 20 days, you can obtain this visa, okay? Really fast. Then you will have access to European banking system. So you can open the bank account here in Spain, in Europe, for all your family members. It's another really strong point. You can have access to the free education for your children and to high quality healthcare system here in Spain. Then in 5 years, you can obtain permanent residency, and in 10 years, you can obtain Spanish nationality. Okay? And another small detail, and really important detail, a child born in Spain to foreign parents holding a Spanish residence permit can apply for citizenship after just 1 year. So it's really important. Imagine you move here with your wife and 1 kid, but at 1 year you want to have second kid. So after birth in 1 year, you can obtain citizenship for your next kid. So it's perfect. They don't need to wait 10 years, you know, likely. And another detail, really important, that you need to pay taxes here. Average taxes, as I already said, from 20 to 40% depends on the amount of your salary. And another really important point, that you need to be here more than 183 days per year, because you will be here tax resident here in Spain. So it means that you cannot kind of obtain this residency and live in Poland or in Portugal. You need to be present with your family here in Spain, of course, if you want to prolong your visa without any problem. Okay guys, so I think I shared with you all the main information about Digital Nomad Visa. If you want to obtain more information, please write us here in Telegram, in WhatsApp, find us on our webpage, or write to my Instagram, and I will respond you to any your question. And here in Dream Life, we can obtain this visa for you really fast and really simple. So everything what I have told here, we can obtain all these documents really fast, and everything we can do, and you don't need to stress about anything. And in Dream Life, we are not only will help you with the visa, we can help you with all your life question. Okay, so if you want to enroll your kids to the school, if you want to open bank account, if you want to find your dream home, we can help with that. So if you want to just obtain the visa, okay, if you want to obtain the visa and all other services, we can help you with that, and we can register you here as self-employed. Okay, because a lot of people, a lot of nomads, they need this service too. So we are actually giving the service from A to Z. So from the moment that you are thinking about Digital Nomad Visa to the moment that you are sitting on your sofa in Barcelona flat, already paid taxes, already with your kid in the school, we can help with every step on your way. Okay, so please write me, and please write to my company, and please subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. And guys, by the way, about seeing in my next video, I actually wanna start to make interview not only with entrepreneurs that you know that I'm doing this expats and business series of video, but I wanna make the video with the expats and my clients who move here to Spain. Okay, so next video you will see not only me, but you will see my clients who move with my company and who actually build their dream life here in Spain. So I actually want to really share their stories, because it's really interesting how people decide to make their dream come true, and how actually they achieve it, and how they're actually happy after that. And everybody is repeating the same phrase: why I didn't make it before. So guys, let's not waste the time, and if you need any support, just contact me, and I'm waiting you here in Spain. And see you in my next video. Bye bye.